ago. Felt a lot of shame for being so late to the game, but I suppose everyone kind of feels that way to some regard. Everyone wants to have started earlier. But I was doing a lot of self-education, reading a lot of books, like The Simple Path to Wealth. And then that's kind of how I allocated my investment strategy going into index funds and ETFs.
Hmm.
So I was just contributing the max to both my 401k and my Roth IRA. I thought I was pretty buttoned up, but I didn't have enough knowledge and education to know for sure. So I was always kind of weary. I was been following your content for several months prior to joining the academy. Did your 2 or 3 day kind of working session of going through my budget, and I already had a pretty good idea of where every dollar was going, but still I wasn't feeling very confident.
Hmm.
Uh, so when I was after that 3 days, I was talking to one of your sales guys, and they threw out the number. At first, I thought it was at first it seemed like a tough pill to swallow, but I convinced myself that, well, at least maybe I am on the right track, maybe I'm not. If I am on the right track, at least I'll know I am, and
Hmm.
I can rationalize the price point. So that's what kind of prompted me to sign up. And then honestly, I've been a little bit kind of blown away with the amount of knowledge I've accumulated in such a short time.
Love to
So
hear it.
again, I felt like I had some stuff kind of buttoned up, but now I feel like I'm kind of crossing all my T's and dotting all my I's. I opened up a brokerage account, so I have
Amazing.
I have a goal of of the amount of money I want in my 401k before I kind of back off of contributing to the max
Hmm.
and start putting more towards my brokerage account. Just because you made me aware of, well, if I want to retire early, I'm not going to be able to retrieve any of that money if they're all in retirement accounts without some kind of penalty.
Yep.
Certainly, there's some strategies that you talked about, like the Rule of 72, and maybe getting it at 55 as opposed to 59 and a half.
Yep.
But yeah, that's kind of where I am. I actually haven't done too much with the wills and trusts, just
Uh-huh.
because I'm a single guy. I don't have any dependents, and I'm not sure where I'm going to be living the next 6 months. So I'm kind of waiting to feel out where my permanent residence is going to be before I file the will, and then kind of navigate that a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing experience. Well worth the dollar amount, and just the community too has been great. Popping in on the Monday lectures, and then the Q&A on Thursdays, hearing people ask questions that I didn't even really know I had myself.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's just been awesome. The real estate meeting we had yesterday evening.
Did you guys get that meeting squared away? I know there was a Zoom link issue.
Yeah, yeah. We always seem to have like Zoom link issues when for that meeting in particular.
You know
So
what? It's Kirk's fault. We gotta fix that, man. I told him, I said I'm gonna talk to Tom about that today. Like, let's get a link that we can use so that it happens every time.
I mean, I work from home in IT, so I'm on Zoom all the time, and
Yeah.
so those kind of issues are just. I mean, I deal with them every day, so it wasn't a big deal to me, but it was
So you
funny to.
guys figured it out that you guys got on the call.
Yeah.
That's funny. So you mentioned a few things like, hey, you were blown away by the amount of knowledge and all that kind of stuff in there. What were some of the big wins that you've had so far that you're like, I don't think I would have had that unless I knew more about this and like all the community aspect you mentioned as well.
So again, I felt like I was doing a decent job of tracking my money before the academy, but now I'm more dialed in. I'm more conscious about my spending. And prior to you, I've come across uh, programs on social media before, not necessarily finance related, but they were very. I had a very negative experience. They were
Hmm.
very. I got scammy vibes from them, and
There's a lot of those.
I've been duped a couple of times too, so kind of lost out on a couple $1,000s.
Yep.
You kind of gave me faith in programs again, so
I
I'm
love to
actually
hear that.
part of another program right now for my physical fitness, so I'm investing myself that way. I'm very much considering. I messaged you about this a couple weeks ago. I'm considering doing Finance Cowboy
Oh
after I
yeah.
graduate from Budgetdog, just to
Yep.
try and invest in real estate. Because that's not something I'm currently in.
Sure.
But as far as the big wins, I would say is just reallocating my IRAs. So I took an old 401k and moved it to my current employer just because the expense ratio is amazing with Empower right now. It's
So
like
that's
25.
that's a huge savings, right? Like hundreds of thousands long term, probably.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then just kind of redoing my investment mix. Um, I'm actually pretty aggressive right now. I'm 100% in VT stacks, but
You're 35. You got time.
I'll probably dial that back to, maybe 5% bonds pretty soon, and maybe add in another index as well, just for diversity. But yeah, I
Hmm.
felt like since I could kind of handle the risk, I feel pretty risk. What's the opposite of averse?
Risk seeking.
I feel like I can handle more risk right now, so that's
Well,
why.
dude, you're probably feeling great right now with where the market's at, all time highs.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm buying a little bit of crypto every month, but just like
Yep.
only $50 a month, but 25 every 2 weeks.
There we go.
I don't really look at it
Who do you
anymore.
buy through?
River,
Oh,
just
you
because
use River as well. Yeah. Did you see
yeah,
the monthly withdrawals are free now? One time.
I saw that email. Yeah,
Super
absolutely.
excited about that. That's good news as well because that shores up a full on fee there, which is awesome. What else are some of the big wins that you've had, man?
I guess those have been the only wins I've really felt like so far. I feel very much behind. I mean, I know I'm over your 6 figure mark, but
Sure.
even making 6 figures, I feel like I'm pretty far behind. So a lot of my initiative has been into education, hoping to get a higher earning
Yep.
role or position. So that's kind of my goal. So I feel like the biggest win is just my overall awareness
Hmm.
and knowledge growth.
How has the community treated you? As far you mentioned that earlier, you love the idea of the community. They ask questions on the calls that you might have yourself that you didn't even think about yourself. What's that been like?
Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I've just never been a part of a community. This is my first school community. So being part of the book clubs and having conversations about certain things, I feel like Wendy's kind of in a similar place that I am right now. She kind of wants to dive into the real estate game as well.
Yep.
Uh, Interested in learning more about house hacking and just becoming more familiar with the process as a first time home buyer.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
but yeah, just seeing people kind of on the same page, some people that are kind of a little bit, I don't want to say further behind, maybe have a little bit more debt that they're trying to tackle, but then seeing some people that are already very much in the 7 figures. So I just feel like the
Yeah.
diversity is,
The cool thing about it though is like that's where you grow, right? Is like if you're in the room where you're the furthest ahead, sometimes it feels as if like, well, there's not much else to learn, but like that's a really good feeling to know that hey, people are in here and they have surpassed you per se, and that's a good thing, right? Like I hope people in my academy and in my group and stuff that I surround myself with are further ahead of me because then that means I can learn from them, understand what they're doing, and it's just a good, group to be a part of. What would you tell somebody that was, all right, maybe your former self? There was a lot of skepticism. What got you over that hump? Like, I know obviously you're like, hey, previous programs kind of sucked, and previous programs, I got scammed. You said you got scammed. What about this, or what about myself, gave you that confidence to overcome that?
I actually think about that a lot, thinking that if I were one of Brennan's sales guys, like what could I do to convince someone without coming off as pushy? Like, and honestly, I don't know, man. I think it was just a leap of faith on my part. Like
Uh-huh.
I felt like I had to take the risk to know if I'm on the right track for retirement because I just didn't know. That was more scary than
Yep.
losing out on the price tag. So yeah, I really don't know. I guess maybe if I had an opportunity or people had an opportunity to hear the success stories or the testimonials
Hmm.
beforehand, um, that probably would have pushed me over the edge a little bit quicker, or
Sure.
yeah, without as much hesitation. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't know. I mean, it's just because there's scammers out there. There are. It's
There's
just
a lot, dude. I
you have
got
to be
scammed out of
legal.
$25,000.
Gosh,
And that doesn't sit well with me either. So I've seen it myself real time. That's unfortunate, but it happened. There's a lot of trash out there, to say the least.
there is. Yeah, I don't know, man. You never gave me the scammy vibes. You seemed very more genuine than
Yeah.
probably any other influencer.
Yeah,
that I
yeah, for
need.
sure. Lots of influencers out there selling you a pipe dream.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple other good ones that are kind of
Sure.
where we're at too that are very genuine, but yeah, I mean, you had the results. You were showing how you got there, and you were just kind of showing your strategy. And
Yep.
yeah, you weren't selling a pipe dream.
What would you tell somebody that is nervous? Like, hey, I don't know if this is the right fit for me, or like I just don't feel good about this, or whatever the case is. Like, I don't think it's gonna work for me. What would you tell somebody like that?
From my perspective, as someone that's gone through the academy,
Yep.
I would be like, yeah, it is a tough pill to swallow. I was in your shoes, but it is well worth it. I
Hmm.
feel like if you don't feel somewhat confident in your plan currently and in your investment strategy, then it is well worth the investment.
Yep.
Again, I went in feeling like I was pretty buttoned up, and it was well worth the investment. I don't have, thankfully, I don't have any debt right now, so I felt like I was in a good place. But again, the value is incredible, especially
Man,
when
so
you're
you're
long
in
term.
a prime position, no debt, 35, making good income. You're investing money into VT Sacks amongst other things, and a little bit of crypto you mentioned, and a few other accounts. What are your next big goals? You said real estate a little bit. What other things do you want to really, really accomplish?
I need to invest in so much more. I need to find a higher. See, it's funny you say that because I don't feel very good about my current position.
Yeah.
I'm on track
Some people
to.
don't, man. Like, don't beat yourself up. You're in a think about every, the world as a whole. You're in a really good position. I know sometimes people don't feel like they are, but give yourself some credit, man. You're very far ahead.
Well, I appreciate hearing that. It helps to hear that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, getting investing in real estate, that is my next big goal.
What about
Um,
the real estate deals that we the obviously the ones passed, but we're gonna have some more real estate deals. Actually, June in 6 days, we're gonna have another real estate deal for you guys.
that's very interesting to hear. I almost jumped in on that last one,
Yep.
but I have been working really hard to try and save at least 20%
Yep.
on the property that I want to buy, or a property. Hopefully it's a multifamily so I can house hack. But I was really trying, my goal was just trying to get that 20%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, just in case if the market sucks, I didn't want to have to do an FHA loan with
Smart man.
interest rates and PMI insurance.
Yep. Smart.
So that's why I didn't. I was hesitant. But yeah, maybe this next one, maybe
Yeah,
it'll
I
just.
mean it's an opportunity. I know June. I think it's June 12th. I'm pretty sure what today's today, June 6th. I'm looking at my calendar. June 12th, I think is Tuesday. Maybe it's 11. I don't know. Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday of this upcoming week. Same people. Ben and Aaron are going to be presenting.
Awesome.
Yeah,
The
they're going to
sooner the
actually
better.
come to for the first property. It's actually in my backyard essentially. It's in DFW. So they're coming in town on the 28th to visit the property, and I'm going to be meeting with them and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Oh,
Great,
nice.
great guys across the board. What else do you want to leave the people with? What other last words would you want to say?
I'd say it's not just an opportunity to get control of your budget, but it offers you confidence in your investment strategy. It offers you an opportunity to network, um, just exposure, especially on those Monday lectures, how other people are earning the income or revenue that you want to be.
Hmm.
I never knew anything about real estate syndication before joining this group. I feel like that's huge too. I feel like that's
Huge.
how a lot of people are making big dollars, and you don't hear a lot of people talk about that on social media, or I
Not at all,
don't.
man.
So yeah, I guess that's what I would say.
What else could we help you with?
I honestly don't know if there's too much more that Budget Dog can help you with. I mean, you guys have empowered me. Now I just need to hustle, I
Yeah,
guess. I need to make a higher income. I need to learn how to find these deals. I guess if there's anything, I would be maybe fostering the growth of like that real estate group that Kirk's got going on. So we
absolutely. Well,
can
dude,
learn how to
step up to. I'll
find
mention that
deals.
to Kirk right away. We would love people to take on that ownership and just take it upon yourself. I think leading that would be an awesome idea. Maybe you can use your Zoom link too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't have a license, but I can take a crack at it.
I have my Zoom account. I'll just have Kirk use my Zoom account and use the link in there or whatever the case is. Dude, I would love for you to do that actually. Do you want me to connect you with Kirk?
I mean, I'm on the I'm on his monthly call, so
Perfect. Yeah.
I can always message him. And I feel like I need to educate myself on how to analyze deals, and then I
Yeah.
could probably bring that into the scope of conversation.
Yeah, he's gonna. I know for a fact he told me he was gonna be start bringing deals. I was like, hey, make sure you have a lawyer because if you're raising capital and you mention this deal, that's gonna and there's some legal concerns around that. But the goal is to like really create a group that has other deals, and it's not. I'm not gonna check them necessarily or vet them, but
Mhm.
it's like trust within the group amongst you guys because it's obviously you guys specifically. So I've given the green light as long as there's lawyers involved and there's legitimacy there that you guys can talk to each other and make deals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So cool, man. Well, anyways, I appreciate you hopping on here. Tom and I are always here. Wendy's here. Wendy's actually starting. She's like working with us a little bit as well in the background. Um, Angel's here. Heather's here, dude. Like we're here. So you let me know what you need at all times.
I do have a quick question